Hello, foodies, and welcome back to Foot in Review, episode 686. The FC 26 preseason has started, and as promised by Chris earlier this week, we'll discuss all things leading up to it. And of course, I'm not doing that alone. I am joined by none other than a man with the twinkle toes. It's none other than James Orlando. Hi, James.
Hello, John. How we doing? And how we doing,
Hi.
listeners? Good to be here again.
Good to have you, my friend. But also joining us is Mr. Tactics himself. It's none other than Archom. Archom, welcome back. Welcome to the new season, my friend.
Welcome, footies. Hi, John. Hi, James. How you been, guys? Been a couple of weeks that I was absent, but I'm here.
Yes, married man, holiday behind you, and all freshen up for the new season.
Let's not ruin the show. Let's move on.
Anyways, today we'll be talking about the upcoming schedule with certain releases. We'll talk about changes in FC 26 and what is Zlatan FC. Well, all right, guys. How hyped are we for FC 26? Because as we record this, it's a little under 2 weeks left before we start. James, are you still playing FC 25? And how's your hype level doing?
Good evening to our listeners. Good afternoon. Good morning. I haven't been playing FC 25, John, at all. Maybe I gave up maybe a month or two ago. My evil Celtic side was fine. My Barcelona first owner side, I accomplished everything I want to accomplish, and I got 10 wins out of 15 wins, 2 or 3 times in champs. So I am pretty much done with FC 25. Dare I say it, I'm looking forward to the game, but only really because the marketing team has cast that spell on me at this time of year again. And you're always, they're the best marketing team in the world. For the club, this for the club, okay, right, okay, I'll do my pre-order. And then I hope to God in a month's time that just everything that they say doesn't materialise. And then all this feedback that they're listening to and things like that, I hope they take that on board during the game, not just before the game. But I'm slightly hyped, but only because of EA's spell, John.
Yeah, well, they did well, though, saying it's for the club. And also, it's for you. We listen to you, James. Thank you for the feedback, James. We made this specifically for you. It's all yours, James. Are you hyped yet, James? No? Well, you got a free icon with it as well. Are you hyped now? And if you're not, let's talk about Zlatan FC. Talking about someone actually that looks a lot like Zlatan in his prime days. Archum, how hyped are you for FC 26 and are you still playing FC 25?
You know what? I actually played the last week, the weekend league. And the reason for it, because they introduced that objective where we could basically pick up all the 99 cards. So, you know, the grind ended basically with it. But, you know, I was just want to try those cards, right? I mean, there's like one-time opportunity to get those cards and just play with them. And after 4 games, I just went back to my regular Evolution team. I was just like not impressed with these cards. It's just like maybe it's already too late, you know. But other than that, no, I'm not touching the game at all. No web app, no like interaction with anything with AFC, any like 25, 26. I'm just patiently waiting for a new game. I need to reset for upcoming year, for upcoming season. So I don't want to. I just want to feel the hunger again, you know, for the game.
Yeah, and
if I'm hyped, you know what? I mentioned before we started the show, I was hyped like 5 years in a row, and every year I was a little bit disappointed. So this year I'm just like, you know, neither hyped, neither disappointed. I'm just waiting. I want to see the gameplay. Changes in the gameplay because, as always, they promise a lot from the beta players who had the beta. I'm hearing good stuff, but still, I'm cautiously waiting.
I can hear a little bit of negative feelings toward who played the beta. Is there something there? Are you disappointed you didn't get a beta, or are you? I'm just going to rephrase it to myself.
I know. I'm not surprised I didn't, because it's like you said, it's mostly going to UK and US players still, like 95%. The codes are sent to them. So I'm not sure if I'm happy to be from Poland, but it is what it is. I didn't get a code. I'm not a professional player either, so no, it's not like I'm disappointed by what I'm hearing or what I'm reading about the AFC 26. I'm actually um, nicely surprised what I'm hearing. But you know what? It's just I don't want to get overhyped. This was like every time I'm getting overhyped, and then the game starts, and I'm like, nah, this is not what I expected. Like this, the same thing happened with the tactic changes. We discussed it last year with you, and I was like, John, for me, it's like the tactics ruined. And I know they're introducing some changes, but little tiny changes this year. So I'm mainly focused on receiving a good gameplay this year.
Yeah, that's clear though, because talking about hype, 2 weeks before we are recording this now, that means in the coming days or coming weeks, there will be stuff released like reveals, ratings, info about club collaboration. Web pass will be closed. So, what I wanted to do on this show today, first with you guys, is to roughly go through the schedule and ask you guys what you think about these milestones or deliverables, so to speak. Is it worth anything for you? What's your experience with it? Do you even care about the web app being released and so forth? Right?
Sure.
Yep.
Let's start with the first one, of course. The first one, when you're listening to this on the public service, it will be released on a Sunday. So the day after, on the Monday, James, if our info is correct, the FC26 team ratings will be revealed, meaning how many stars does a team have in non-foot modes? How much do you care? And is this actually something you're looking forward to?
I'm not really that bothered, John, if I'm being
Just checking if Celtic
brutally
still has the
honest.
5 stars.
Yeah, well, I doubt we have. We haven't that night a good couple of years, or even 10, 20. But not really bothered. And also as well that it's interesting that it's team ratings. I don't know if that should be, as we discussed before, if it's player or if it is team. But I'm not really bothered into team ratings. 8th of September. I'm not really bothered about that, John, to be perfectly honest with you.
Archum, do you care?
I mean, if there is anyone who's caring about the team ratings, I want to meet that person and ask him a question why. I
Probably
just
if you
don't
play
get it.
seasons,
It's like,
right?
even though, I mean, why you care about receiving the team ratings 2 weeks before the game starts?
Yeah, well, I can't answer the question because I don't care at all either. What they also will do, historically speaking, is start to feed us player ratings from that day on. It's not officially confirmed, but usually they'll drop the top-rated strikers, top-rated midfielders, etc., and we'll get those drip feeds. So that will spark some controversy in the coming week, I suppose. Or do you doubt that, Arjun?
I mean, for me, even that, dropping the player ratings before the game starts, how many times we get the player who was 78 rated better performing than 85 card? I mean, there are players, the people who care about this stuff. I mean, maybe the guys who are doing a lot of market stuff. I don't know. For me, it's just like, no. I prefer to receive like really some pics from the gameplay or some videos from the gameplay, like more introducing to what they bringing to us, and that will build my hype even more than seeing the new ratings. Or even like I see a lot of interactions right now on Twitter, how to build your first team or whatever. Who cares? I mean, how you're gonna get those cards? I mean, it's just like it's not fun to build the team before you get the game. I don't know.
James, do you build your team before you hit the game?
I'm afraid not. No, I'm very tactical, and I do think I had a good couple of moves and gameplay and things like that. But I'm not really that bothered to know. I would love to see more golds than silvers for Celtic. That's something I'll be interested in, and then also for evos and things like that. But again, it's also at the start now. I believe it's leagues instead of nations now. Correct me if I'm wrong. So again, just depending on you getting cards that you don't have at the moment, and you don't know what you're going to pick in the leagues and things like that. So it's nice. Probably good for a younger audience, but other than that, John, I just want to basically bypass the whole September straight to the 19th. That's when I'm
It's
interested.
it's so nice, Archie, hearing the Benjamin of our hosting group say the younger audience.
Listen, you know what? But I think the professional players might care about the ratings. You know, like what I'm getting this year. You know, they might.
I remember though, like a couple of years back, but it probably must have been during COVID period. I was like, oh, they released the game. I can now do the team building and I'll set some starter teams up and go from this, hype this card up. This year, I'm like, I'm busy. In a week or so, I'll get the game. You know what? It's fine for me.
Well, during the COVID, we had time for much more stuff than this right now, right?
Yes, and we were married. That helps a lot as well. On Wednesday, though, the Wednesday the 10th, it's the official, well, not that of FC25, but it comes close because the web app closes on FC25. At this point, it doesn't really matter. We're refreshing it for the new one. But that's the end. That's it. That's it. We can uninstall the game as well afterwards, I guess. Is it any milestone you guys care about, Art or James?
I think I've done everything that I set out to do. The only thing I was disappointed is I didn't get to the Elite Division. What I usually get to, I got to Division 1 this year, so that was very disappointing. But then on the other side of the coin, it's amazing how I play with my feet. But me personally, it was disappointing. So hopefully we can get Elite with the feet next year. But other than that, I set out to do what I'm looking for. And it's already uninstalled, and I'm just waiting for FC26.
Yeah, that's supremely disappointing, James. We're all maybe we should look for a replacement host now. It's not making. It's still top 5% of all players, but yeah, it's all right.
Why is here? Why is he invited?
I don't know. We like his laugh, I guess. Next
Fair
year,
enough.
James, we'll make sure you get there at least. No, I think still it's a very hefty accomplishment. So wouldn't worry about it too much. And don't put
Cheers.
that bar for yourself. The more important date, I think, for many players, and then we're going to do a separate show on this next week. On Friday, the full database will be revealed, meaning we get all the ratings from all the players in the game. Archel, is your hype already building when you hear this?
Yep. Move on. It's like I already basically answered that question for me, like for the players. I don't care about that stuff. As I'm saying, we had players, Rodri, 90, for example, or 91. I don't remember FC 25 already. I'm like, it doesn't matter, but unusable card. So if he gets right now 85 and he is more usable because
he didn't actually play much, so
no, you know
That's true.
what I mean. Why? If you can explain me why people care about the ratings, maybe because maybe I'm missing something. You know, maybe I don't understand the game like totally, but I just don't understand why we're caring so much about the ratings. I mean, as a professional player, for example, I can bet with my colleague from team, hey, I'm gonna be a silver this year. You're gonna be probably still bronze. That's fun. I'm waiting for it, but.
yeah.
As just a casual player.
Yeah, so I always say about ratings that it's not so much on how good a card is, but it's more about how high or low, in this case, the drop rate is for that card. The higher rating means the lower chance it will actually drop from packs, right?
I disagree, John. Just example, we had, what year was it? Mendy, 82 card, left back from Real Madrid. Unpackable. You know what? Like, let's see, Tio Hernandez. He was 87 this year. It's not like a 91 card, and I packed him in June, first time.
That's
So
fair
it's
enough.
like, you know
But-
what I mean? It's like I think the dropping rate is just like totally different topic. That's
Okay,
why I just want to
that's
say.
fair. I think James has something to say about that, but because James usually packs a lot of good icons and players, no matter what the rating is, James.
I think maybe for rating, maybe for the first time ever. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, that people might be more inclined with the rating as they want it lower for their players because of evils, so it would fit evils. Don't know if that could be a wee hype thing now, that you want players' rating to be a wee bit lower so they can go into an evil straight away. That could be a possibility for our listeners and ourselves. Other than that, that's all I wanted to say about the ratings, really.
That's fair. I just want to see who's get the higher rating. Is it Ronaldo or Messi? And now I'm actually showing my age here. But that's all right. Now, what I do want to like, there's two things I do care about ratings. First, I always want to see the player from Feyenoord and Juventus, right? I think usually Eredivisie gets a lot of underrated ratings. Feyenoord made quarterfinal Champions League last year. I definitely think we should get some more gold-rated cards in this year than we did last year. So I would be very disappointed if that's not the case. And having the Kuip in the game for second year in a row, I think should be enough leverage to make that more reasonable. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's something I'm paying attention to. The other thing I want to see is icons and hero ratings, because we get some new icons, we get some new heroes, and I do want to see how good or how bad these are. And I am sort of curious about some of the good icons that usually get low ratings. Name a Koeman, for one, or Rijkaard. I want to see if they actually got some more love from it, and hopefully we see stats as well, right? Because I do want to see, especially on the icon side, did Van Basten actually get the love he deserved? Weak foot on certain cards, and that's also, of course, in a database reveal. So those things I am sort of curious about. So I usually quite like when the database hits to go through them and see, oh, what about this player? That's weird. What was it last year? Oh, that's oh, they changed his weak foot. Oh, that's good. Stuff like that. I don't care about the top 10 players, but I do care about the players that I care about.
Yeah.
And see what changed there. But also see if one of my favorite players, which I used last year, for example, at my starter team, are upgraded or changed or something I can depend on. Because what I don't want my time to be spent on when the game hits is to actually check out all the cards I pack into details. So let's say you pack down on this Archon in a lucky incident. You want to know if he's still as good as you expect him to be, right? So that is a typical player, sort of the meta players always check out. Are they still worth having, or is there a disadvantage which I don't want to discover on the day that I actually get it? Because one, it's taking too much time, and you, James, you know, and Art knows, as content creators, you don't have much time to do deep dives when the game actually hits. It just make content, play, enjoy, learn, etc. So I need to be a little bit. I need to know a couple of players at least from the database on top of my mind. So sort of homework for me, and I'm also glad it's a week earlier, so I can actually start learning the basis. And can't learn all the players, of course, but I can learn the most popular players, I suppose.
Yeah, you can have a good
from
start,
a business
John.
perspective, I think that's sort of does make sense.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
And the next day, though, we have is, of course, we're getting close to the official release now. Is September 17th, where the web app will release, and not least the Team of the Week 1. I'm gonna ask Karchom, do you care about Team of the Week 1?
Well, as like curiosity, yeah, I'm always on the day opening the web app, seeing it, and closing after 30 minutes. And the reason why is because I have no clue what to do. It's like I'm not the guy to ask about the web app what to do. I mean, I'm not the guru of the transfers and then whatever and selling cards and buying cards. So I'm not the market guy here. So for me, just to see if they change anything, to see the, as you mentioned, the team one, team of the week one, and who gets in, who is not, and that's it basically. And I just want to see the cards, like you mentioned, like to see the team of the week, how big upgrades are from their standard gold cards, like just to get a feeling in what we can expect in upcoming weeks.
I didn't see any mention of how these upgrades are going to work, if they're going to change anything. So I don't expect them to be different. Um, James, do you think Team of the Week will be worth it this year?
I like it myself, hoping that Celtic get a special card. Sometimes it works out in your favour if you get a Team of the Week card that's got a good position, good link. It could be in your team for a week or two at the start, or you could sell it. And also as well, Team of the Week 1's always going to be the rarest Team of the Week as well. So yeah, it'd be certainly interesting. Yeah, but if I could flip the switch on you in terms of hype, would you be more hyped for a ones to watch than Team of the Week 1? Would you miss that aspect of it? Hasn't been on in a while now. I'm just curious. Would you be more hyped for Team of the Week if there was a ones to watch like campaign available like it was before?
Yeah. So my honest opinion is, whenever there's a live card, to make things always more interesting, right?
Yeah.
Archum,
Aye.
thoughts
Well,
about that?
I just want to, regarding the team of the week, you said that it's going to be the same like we had this year, right? But they promising something that they're going to slow a little bit the power curve.
Mm-hmm.
So any upgrade on team of the weeks might be huge
Yeah.
for
Aye.
this game. You know what I mean? Like even +1, +2s. It's not like in next week we're gonna get +3 or +4 from any other promo card. So that team of the week, which is the rarest team of the week,
Yep.
because it's going to be out of packs until the standard edition is released.
Yeah, when the
So-
standard edition released, Team of the Week 2 is already in pack.
That's what I'm saying. So those cards, if you are lucky enough to pack them, get them. They're probably the most expensive team of the weeks in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the meta cards, just a standard team of the weeks.
No.
So that's why I'm just like looking to see how big are the upgrades. If they're adding already at the playstyle, I don't think so.
No, but position change could definitely be
But
tough for,
position
like,
change,
James
rows,
Simpson.
for example, right? It's like that's what I want to see, right? And to answer James' question, I didn't have a match success with Wants to Watch, but as John mentioned, it's a live card, so it's like a little bit more excited to have it than Team of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
True. I agree. The other thing that is, of course, out, and you already mentioned it, Archum, is the web app. James, do you do something when the web app arrives with it? Do you open it and log off as Archum does in 30 minutes? Or are you one of those grinders who tries to make his 100 coins into 10,000 coins before the next morning?
Before the next morning. I'm just old school, John. I prefer to see my start screen on my TV on my PlayStation. That's me. I want to see the flags. I want to see the players I get. I want to see everything on my screen. I don't want to see it on the web app. My first getting to grips with the game or the UI or whatever. I want to see it on the PlayStation. And then if I was to do that, I think it takes that experience away because it only happens once a year and everyone's hyped for the start of the game. So I'm old school. I'd prefer to just wait. The way I see it, you've waited, about 2 months? What's an extra 2 days to get the game on your TV? So I'm easy that way, old school.
Yeah, the companion app arrives a day later, but of course it's non-different than the web app. To be fair, you can also use a mobile companion web app too. It looks exactly the same. So that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that Wednesday when Team of the Week 1 hits, usually a certain amount of content creators get early access along with the press. So there's already people playing then. Before on the Friday, which is of course the most important day, the Ultimate Edition gets its release and many people go in storming the gates. Personally, glad you guys asked. Oh, of course you didn't. But the web app, I do the objectives. I try to do some objectives. As we
What
see.
about you, John?
Oh, thank you for asking, Archie. Yeah, no, I do try to do some objectives, like do an SBC, trade a card, put a card on transfer market, because I totally get what James is saying about the experience when you get it on the console. But I don't want to. When I get the game, I want to play, and I feel so bad play it, like doing objectives, doing SBC, grinding some cards out, tossing in 3 bronze cards for a shadow card or whatever. When I get it, that I want to get those things done as much as I can before the game hits. But that's also because for us there's a lot of pressure on that Friday release. It's gonna hit midnight and basically go play for 8 hours, then take a little bit of a nap and wake up at noon and go for another 16-hour streak, record a podcast in the meanwhile, do some editing, upload it, play 2 more matches, then fall over and rinse and repeat on the same day, right? That weekend's going to be a lot of playing. So I will need to get the most out of that weekend. And I don't consider doing the objectives something I want to do at my PlayStation. I want to get those done as fast as I can. Don't show any cards though. In the meanwhile, players will only rise because the week after there's the official release. Of course, then Team of the Week 2 hits. I almost don't dare to ask, but I suppose everyone's playing the Ultimate Edition on the 19th. Artyom? James?
Once again, sorry.
You are playing the Ultimate Edition on the 19th of September.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's there are 2 reasons basically, and as you said, I'm playing it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm playing it. First of all, because even if I hate that mode, the most important packs from Squad Battle Rewards are from Ultimate Edition team. It's just gonna be the first reward that you will receive. And then the rival rewards, we still get it also on Thursday before the standard edition release. So I'm just playing the game. That's the only thing I'm gonna do basically. Yes. No HBCs, no foundations. You know what, John, and James. The funny part is 5 years ago when I started the Ultimate Team journey, I had more fun because I had no clue what to do. Like, it's crazy, right? I was just finding everything slowly and everything was like interesting for me. Even next year I was waiting for web app, I was waiting for ratings, database and everything, and it didn't bring me anything more until the games really was released. So it's like, by experience, I'm saying I'm just waiting for right away after I download it. It's open. I'm starting the game and I'm just playing it.
And I had to remind myself. You said 5 years ago. I remember like a couple of years ago, I was on holiday in Italy, and the web app arrived, and I can't go to dinner tonight because I need to do some trading on the web app. At the end of the evening, after skipping dinner in Italy, wow, I can't even say it out loud. But I had 1,700 coins. I was like, I did well tonight. Yeah, this year I'm just going to rip open some packs on release day when the Ultimate Edition arrives, and probably make that after 2 packs. So, yeah, it did had its charm though. Like it was. There's a reason we still remember it. I do think it's fun, and you can get a head start, honestly, if you put in the work. I just can't be bothered with.
But John, you know what? It's tougher and tougher to earn any money on web app on the release date because there are more players who knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Not gonna list cards for 100 coins and whatever. Those times are gone. Like everybody knows how to sell cards.
I'm not selling a Feyenoord logo or Real Madrid logo for 1,000 coins in day one anymore.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's like that's why it's tougher and tougher each year to earn money or coins on the days where the web app or companion app are released.
Yes. We'll talk more about this next week after the things happen. But I do want to talk about the one thing you start off with when you get the hands on the game on the 19th. James, what's the one thing you do first? First thing.
Just do the starter screen, John, since I haven't messed it up in my web app, or if I get early access to it. Try and get a gold squads. I would also, I'm in two minds what to do with my my points. I believe it's staggered this year, so we get 6,000, but we get 2,000 on release. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can buy one pack.
So I buy a few, but what I would like, I want to keep my points for the season pass. I think you'll get a lot more value at that than the packs at the start. Maybe for a to be different and maybe a different strategy. I think if the
You can use
season
it
pass
straight
is
away,
good.
no? I mean, season pass should be there right away.
Yeah,
when you get
exactly.
it,
So
no?
I think that's what I'm going to do, and then get the packs straight playing and go for there. And then also, then the other side of the coin, you could still do draft. People still do that as an option. If you're good at the game, do the draft, get the packs, and so on and so forth. But I'll try my best to not spend any FC points unless it's the 6,000 points.
Art, your strategy. Squad battles first.
Yeah, squad battle first. Just do them quickly and get as many points as I can.
Yes, just saying because Sunday morning the rewards will be there for squad battles, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So basically, Friday and Saturday,
we
you're
have
gonna make
basically
sure you
2
do it.
days,
Yeah.
right, to play it, to learn and play it. Because I jump in this year also in AFC 25 squad battles, and I got barely Elite 2, which
Yeah.
was like, why? And like I couldn't beat like the highest level of the squad battles because I didn't know how to play the game, right? It's like, even though we're saying it's the same game, every year it's a little bit different. So
And the transfer from 99 rated cards back to 78 non-informers
and
is a bit
the second thing that I'm doing when I start the game, I'm checking the objectives. If there is something that I don't want to miss, like free packs, like, and it's gonna expire tomorrow,
No,
I'll do it. Why not? I'm still, if it's related to playing the game. You know what I mean? Not selling cars, buying cars. If it's related to playing the game, I'll do it.
cool.
Let's take advantage that we got the 7 days earlier the game, right? And
Yeah.
the objective expires in 1-2 days. This is the objective for us, not for players who are coming next week.
Yes, and they will be there. Those objectives
Yeah.
will be there in 1 or 2 days. So I definitely agree with both your approach. I think season pass is where you put it in. If you spend points on packs, that's the week to do it. But alas, I also think that drop rates are usually very low at the start of the game. You're better off doing non-informed or not tradable packs, especially this year with gauntlets, because you need more depth into your squad. But good starting advice. Next week we'll discuss the players themselves, and then we're already going to prepare hard for the launch of the game. Talking about gauntlets, though, James, FC26 brings us some new food modes or food gameplay changes, and you wanted to mention some and discuss with us. Which are those, and can you quickly explain them for people?
Yeah, certainly. So straight away, before we kick a ball, there'll be no playoffs this year at all. And then champs is split to just the usual champions, and then it's the challengers mode. So there's two versions of champs now. And just to reiterate, playoffs are not a thing anymore. Also, you can do tournaments now, like you touched on there with the gauntlet, and like you said about having in depth. Like I believe you play a tournament or play a match with one team, and in the next game you have to use a completely different 11. So it keeps it fresh, keeps everything new, nice. It's a good feeling again. It's a really good. It's a good feeling to have tournaments because if we remember, champs used to be 30 games, 40 games, but before that you had to actually win a tournament before you could even play the champs, and it wasn't as easy as the qualifiers. I know a lot of people struggle with qualifiers, but
You had to win 4 out of 4. Just putting it in perspective.
Exactly, John. It was tough. It was tough, but I like that. I think I think tournaments should be in the game every single year, in my opinion. So that's really good. Challengers, that's a good, for people that maybe aren't that level and the sweats, you've still got good rewards. You can go into challenges. I believe it's Div 5 and below, I think, and then you've got an opportunity. And then, of course, you can always test yourself and go into the champs, because what's the point in playing if you're not going to try and improve and test yourself? And that's just my opinion, though, because I'm always striving to improve. But yeah, I think it's a good change. We needed something fresh in our whole structure, if that makes sense. It's just going rivals, champs, and then if the grinder does squad battles, and then it gets a wee bit repetitive, and then draft, goodness knows how long that has been, 10 years or something, and no revamp whatsoever, just the exact same mode. So yeah, it's a refresh that's badly needed, in my opinion. It'll be good. It'll be good to see it. I'm interested to see how it will pan out with the different depths. You know, of course, will that affect the market? His price is going to be a lot higher, even though they're trying to get the curve down, because we have to have depth like 4 or 5 teams. Is it going to raise the prices up, or is it not? So yeah, it'll be interesting, John, either way.
Yeah, the two things I want to highlight in that is, 3 things, honestly. I don't think you can play the lower division, the lower champs and the higher champs. It's just you can enter the champs depending on which division you're in.
Yeah.
I think tournaments, you have, what I like about the tournament mode is that they can set up rules for tournaments and put them out at different times. We'll know more next week about them. But for example, they said there could be a tournament running from Tuesday to Thursday, and the requirements for your team, you can use that team the whole tournament, is that it needs to be one nation, for example, or no higher rating than X, which is pretty cool. And the gauntlet is the mode where in every stage you can't use players you've used in previous stages of the mode. So that requires a little bit more of depth. But I think the good thing about this is not time based in the same period as champs are. And I do think it's more of every match counts. Plus, it requires some thinking about squad building and not only doing the same formation, same setup, same team for the whole year. And as for example, I've been using pretty much 2 goalies this year and not changed at all. That's not even possible this year. James?
Just to touch on what you're saying there, every game counts. I know we're speaking about the gauntlet and the different modes, but Rivals, yes, the mode that we've always had it, but there's also, I think there's new like objectives that you need to do X amount, like special object like side quests, if you like, but it's in Rivals, and it makes it a wee bit more interesting. I just thought I would make the listeners aware of that as well. That stuff, I think that would be interesting as well.
Yes. Artyom, have you heard about bounties and jewels?
No, but just a couple words about the new modes that you guys discuss, okay?
Mhm.
Anything new, anything fresh, sign me in.
We can see that at your headset.
Yeah. Tournaments maybe not new mode, but they're bringing it back. The only thing is we had a rush ring brought in AFC 25, right? So hyped. Everyone was having so much fun with it. But they dropped the interest. I'm talking about the AFC, about the rush, and they didn't care about the mode. So it ends up that we had to do the objectives there. It's like, it was, you were forced to play it, not because you wanted to play. So it all depends how they're gonna take care of those new modes. If they're gonna really pay interest on to create those modes interested for players to be in and play them.
Yes. I think Rush, by the way, had some more difficulties with players quitting, matches taking too long when the cap was huge on the players. I think that's what killed the momentum at the start of the year. But they addressed those later on. So I'm hopeful for Rush as well this year.
Likewise.
We'll see. About the championship and challengers, I don't care actually, guys. Not because it's like, for me, it's the same. If you were a weaker player, you will still get your 5-6 wins and basically get the reward that you were getting. It might be a little bit more challenging for players who are Division 5 and above. It's going to be more, let's say, they're going to be tougher players.
No, at least they don't have to qualify anymore. Right? So.
Come on, what qualification we had to win one game?
Well, at the end, at the start of the year, actually.
But even 2, and like...
At the start of the year, you had to win 3, though.
3? It was 3 in the beginning? Yeah. 3 out of the 5?
Yeah, I believe so,
Yeah.
Was it not 6
that was
games?
A big...
No? Or was it 5 games?
3 of 6. I think it was definitely it wasn't more than 50%.
Yeah, I think it was 3 of 6. 3 of 6. And I thought that was fine, but that was about the only one that I actually said online. It was fine. Looking back at my DMs on socials, I think not many people agreed on me back then. So
But John, the reason why you were getting bad DMs is because there was no other mode to play for those players.
True.
They didn't qualify. They had to wait whole week or get enough points again to start the qualification. That's why they were upset.
All
But
right.
if those tournaments or wherever those other modes gonna be fun, we might even drop the championship challenges at all. Like, why not play tournament if it's more fun?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. There are two new things. It's called Bounties and Jewels. Bounties are randomly triggered challenges that apply to your next rival match. So you
Okay.
could say, okay, I got a new bounty, and the bounty means win by 2 or more goals for the next match, which I think is really cool. It doesn't hurt if you don't do it. If you do it, you get some extra rewards. I asked which rewards are there, and they said it's either rival points, champions qualification points, which I think are gone. So that was a weird answer. Coins, packs, season XP, etc., 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 or even rival stage skips, allowing you to progress up to the ladder faster. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And a duel is a version of that, which basically means only one of or both players get, you and the player you're playing against get the same bounty, and only one of you can actually get to redeem this bounty. For example, you both have the objective to score first. This makes rivals more interesting. It doesn't hurt anyone. I think it's a cool thing, James. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. What I was describing just moments ago was that, but I completely forgot the correct terminology for the bounties and the jewels. So yeah, definitely. I'm all for that, John. Without a doubt.
Art, looking forward to
No complaints here. I mean,
Oh,
great stuff. I mean, why not?
that's a good one. Why not?
Yeah, why
Huh?
not? Why not?
No, I definitely do think so. It does help. I think the one thing I do want to highlight before we end today's show is the fact they said we are looking into changing the match outcomes in foot. Um, basically adding disconnects to the list of enabled quits. So if you disconnect or you quit, not necessarily does the game end in a draw, but you might get a win if your opponent does quit or disconnects from it. Can only be a good thing and probably helps making rivals, but especially championship a little bit more fun, Arthur.
Uh, we'll see how it works.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? It's just like, because I know it's tough for them to just get the right output for any players who's quit the game
Mm-hmm.
and why he quit it. Because I just for example, I'm also concerned on the other side. For example, I'm getting disconnected with no reason and I'm getting lost. Why we're now working on that part too? You know what I mean? It just like, that's what I'm saying. So, but no matter what, it's a good path to go with. So if they're quitting, just give me the win.
Yeah,
Let's move
probably.
on. Let's move on. Give me
Probably.
the win. That's it.
And that, yeah, I agree. We talked about gameplay on the first show of the season, episode 685 with Chris and myself. So go check it out if you did. We are doing another deep dive of gameplay for next week. So on this next week, Thursday, the release is going to be all about the second part of the gameplay deep dive. But James, you had one topic on all the gameplay things which you wanted to discuss. And that's also the final topic of today's show. It's about skill moves.
Yeah, certainly, John. I don't really know a lot of it so far, but I think it's a huge positive. For too long in games, accessibility, it's not really been a thing, and there's different movements and buttons and things like that could be difficult for someone like a motor hand. So not everyone's going to play with their feet like myself, but of course, hand problems and things like that. And skill moves, I love to try and do skill moves, but it'll take maybe about a year. I'm not joking, for me to actually learn different skill moves and so on and so forth. So what EA have got now in the patch notes that were released a few weeks ago is something called simplified skill moves. And I believe instead of doing the triggers or anything like that, it's actually still the right stick, but like I said, you don't need to do any other trigger movements. So I'm interested to see if it's like a combo you need to do or twist it in. I'm interested to see how that works out. I'm a big fan of that, John. But I don't want my listeners to get it twisted. I don't want the game to be easy. Far from it. But I would just like to have weapons, if you like, that you can use the same as your opponent, but just because of your ability or your disability, then you can't do it. So I just want an even playing field, but not make things easier. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that and see how that entails. It's a plus for me. It's nice that they're doing something, and so long may it continue, John. So I'm looking forward to that as my perspective on gaming. So that's interesting from my point of view.
Art, can you form an opinion about this already, or do you want some more details before you say something?
You know what, John, James, listen, guys. We heard so many things already about the AFC 26, but I cannot find anything that what James was telling right now about that one button that we can press or right stick movement that's gonna AI gonna choose the skill move for us and how it
No.
works.
Okay, so a little bit more detail. Maybe that helps.
Yeah,
In the
please, John.
accessibility options, you can enable the simplified skills, right? You can also activate it in game, if I am not mistaken, but I'm not quite sure how I did that.
You're
anymore.
correct. It's in the options, Sean. You're correct.
Right. But it means basically you can now use skill moves with the flick of the right stick.
Okay.
That's it, right? However, there are a couple of things with the simplified skill move, or else everyone would just simply use it, right? It is meant as an accessibility option, right? So simplified skill moves take a tad longer to perform. Will take a tad longer to perform. So, for example, if you do a roulette manually, it happens faster than if you would do it with simplified on.
Okay.
Right? Also, you can do a max of 3 skill moves in a row, I think. And EA says there's a slightly more, how do you say it? It's slightly more prone to make a mistake doing it.
Okay.
Right? There are a couple of things. You can do I think, low skill roulette, ball roll, feint forward and turn. You can not do all the skill moves by it, but I definitely do agree with James. It is a good addition. But if you have the option, and I'm glad this is in, James, for example, for you, right? But if you have the option to just practice the regular skill moves, I would say, and especially what I've played from the game so far, it's definitely worth investing the time learning the other skill moves manually. But nevertheless, this is perfect, not only for accessibility, James, but I also think if you are a youngster learning this game, please just turn it on. Add it to your thing. Add it to your play fun. Add it to the fact you can now do a skill move and focus on defending, learning to defend better, or shooting, or precision shooting. Turn it on while you've not mastered it. I think for you, Art, you're not going to turn it on. You know most skill moves on top of your mind anyways. There's no reason for you to do so. But I'm so happy, not only for James, but also for people just starting off with this game, or people who find skill moves too hard to get into or too daunting to get into, that this is now an option. And I do think that's recommendable for sure.
Yeah.
So
totally
there's a downside to it, but it's definitely an upside. It's finally.
Well, my biggest concern about this is that I don't know the outcome, right? The
You
AI
do?
is gonna
You do.
choose.
No, you do.
Hold on.
So what
The AI is
happens?
gonna choose the skill move for you.
No,
right?
no, it's not. That's
No?
no. I think I don't know, but what I've seen is, and I actually have a list. I just asked for a list. But for example, if you have a 5-star skill move player,
Okay.
and you flick it forward, it's a 3-touch roulette. But if you have a 1 to 2-star skill move player and you put a right stick forward, it's a low skill roulette. Right? But if you push it forward, you do the roulette.
Okay.
Period. If you do it the right stick to the left or the right on lower skill moves, you do a ball roll. If you do it on a 3 to 4-star, you do a stop and turn. But on the 5-star, it's going to be a drag turn. So basically, you do the same move, same kind of move, by flicking it left or right. But the higher the skill move is, the higher sort of skill it actually pulls off in that area of range of skills. And I think the right stick back is the lower rating is the feint forward and turn. The 3 to 4 stars the feint forward and exit, so the faster version of it. And the 5-star is the Flare Nutmeg 180. So basically, you do the same move by flicking it to the side you prefer, or you want, and depending on the certain amount of skill moves, stars they have on the skill moves, that player will do a certain version of that type of skill. So you know what you're going to do. But then again, if you you are limited to like 3 moves with whatever play you have. And you can't really change them because they're a little bit slower. But nevertheless, it's already 180% better, James, than not being able to do them all. So
yeah, definitely, John, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it'll be a good thing for everyone, every player. And you can turn it on and off and just do it at your leisure or do it manually. So yeah, definitely. Wanted to touch on that, but I want to be clear with the audience. I would like to talk more into detail when I've actually experienced it and see if it is going to be a plus, if it's going to be a negative. And then for the listeners as well, it's a lot of information, good information that John's gave you. So you'll get that, and then also my experiencing with it as well in the coming weeks and months.
And I got to be quite honest, I've not tried it. I've not even considered trying it. And when we were preparing today's show, you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I should have done that when I had my hands on the game, actually. It's just not in my system to try it. But I also think it's good for, like Archon, we at foot coaching, we help players that start their foot journey, right? That's the one of the options we now have is to say, okay, turn the simplified skill moves on. These are the 3 skills you can learn by flicking the left, right, up or down. Now, the coming week, we are going to focus on precision shooting, but no, you'll be able to do a skill move this way. That's it. Advance them half a year. Now we can say you're going to turn that off. And now we're going to help you practice these 2 skill moves, which you need to use in these 2 situations, for example. So it also adds depth to the learning curve and the skill curve, I think. So that I don't see anything wrong with this.
But we'll see how it works, right? I mean, we need to see how it works, because if it's going to be too much of the delay, nobody's going to use it.
No, they said slightly slow.
I understand, but that word "slightly" in like.
Yeah, fair enough. I get what you say.
Yeah,
they use
sometimes
slightly
they
less stamina.
reduce slightly the accuracy of Trivela shots. We have from 200% to 199 going in. So it's like slightly.
Yeah,
so I just want to see how it works in
stamina
the
on
game,
sprinting,
because
yeah.
don't forget, it's going to be used in online gaming. So we also have to see how it's going to work. That slightly slower reaction to the online gaming.
Yes.
So that 1 second, it's taking 1 second. That's too late for competitive gameplay.
Yeah, true. I don't think it takes a second. But what I also saw some comments when I was looking into this, that people said that shouldn't be a thing on the competitive mode of this game, right? But I do think because it's also an accessibility issue, it should definitely be a thing that's implemented in every single thing.
Yeah, of course.
So I
you
think
don't have to use it. Don't use it. That's like, but for
Yes.
people who need this, it's just great addition.
Perfect. Yes. We'll hopefully be able to talk more about accessibility in total, James, because I think there's a couple of things they changed in FC or in EA in general, and I'd love to take a deep dive into that anytime soon. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that because, like I said, the patch notes were promising regarding what they were releasing. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. That brings us, of course, to the end of today's show. This was episode 2 of season 8. And if you think this show is for you, then leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. That helps us tremendously. It takes about 5 seconds of your time, and it's totally free. If you want to support us financially, we could definitely use it. We very much appreciate it. We'll put you in the ending credits, and you go to patreon.com/foot-in-review. And you get this show 2 days prior to public release every single time we put out a show, plus a lot of bonus content. We'll be pushing a lot of streaming, coaching session. You build credits for coaching. I'm not going to advertise it. Just check out patreon.com/foot-in-review. That's FUT in review, of course. And it will give you Discord access, because unfortunately we had to close the Discord for non-Patreon subscribers. But that means we can make the Patreon more exclusive, share more details, more insights, and so forth. Guys, thank you so much for being there. You look at the show notes to find out where you can find James and Art, of course. It's just a little under 2 weeks. And remember, one more time, this show will be released on every Thursday and every Sunday. And again, if you're a Patreon member, you get this early. Thank you so much. Leaves us with one thing left to do, and that is to
Drop it.
drop it.
Drop
Drop
it.
it.
You.
T.
Boom.
You.
T.
You.
T.
You. T.
T.
T. Interview. You.
T.